Welcome back to online classes. See students, I am the new science teacher for you. See students, for 8th class we are discussing the science subject, that is 11th one chapter number 11th one, cell structure and function. 11th one chapter, cell structure and function. So students, first of all that we will discuss the introduction, then go to next. Then we will go to next. See, what is the introduction then? What is the introduction? See students, I think you know about a cell. In 7th class it is there. What is a cell and what a cell must contain? And what a cell must contain? See here, if a cell is there, it must contain the nucleus. What it contains? It must contain the nucleus. And a cell has a jelly-like substance. A cell has the jelly-like substance that we are calling as the cytoplasm. And cell is covered with the outer membrane. That we are calling as the cell membrane. What we are calling? We are calling that as the cell membrane, or one more name is there for that we are calling as the plasma membrane. That is plasma membrane. Cell membrane or plasma membrane. Cell. So what is meant by the cell then? What is meant by the cell then? See here, cell. Cell is nothing but it is the building block. What it is? It is the building block. So if I am saying directly means you can't get students. See here, if we want to build a building, what is the necessary thing students? What is the main thing to build that building students? That is the brick. What is that? Brick. See here, brick is very important to build a building. Brick is very important to build a building. Whenever a brick is there, then only, otherwise nowadays without the brick they can build the building by using what? By using the stone also. So stone, otherwise brick is very important to build a building, because that is the base. That is the base for that building. Like that, our body is made up of what? Our body is a building. Our body is a building to protect some organs, to protect whatever internal organs are there. So, how our body is made up of? For what our body is made up of? How we are alive? How organisms are alive? First of all, that we have to learn about which are the organisms alive. Means biotic components are there, abiotic components are there. Biotic, abiotic. What is meant by the biotic components and what is meant by the abiotic components? Biotic components are nothing but these are the living beings. Living beings are called as the biotic components. And which are non-living things? Which are non-living things are present, those we are calling as the abiotic components, otherwise non-living components. For example, human beings, animals, some microbacteria, otherwise macrobacteria, these are all belongs to which category? These are all belongs to the biotic components. These are belongs to biotic components. And soil is there, water is there, air is there. These are what? These are not having any life, means they can't breathe, they can't excrete, they can't digest. So excretion, breathing, digestion, where going on it is in case of the living organisms. In case of living organisms. So that's why water, soil, air, these are the abiotic components. Water, soil, air. See here, water, soil, air. These are what students? These are the abiotic components. Abiotic are not respiring, these are not excreting, these are not digesting. So like this, these are not doing the functions which are going in case of the living organisms. So human beings, some microorganisms, animals, macroorganisms, bacteria, these are what students? These all are what they are? They are the living beings. So that's why they are coming under the biotic components. Then to live alive, what is necessary thing? Cell is the necessary thing. Cell is the necessary thing. That's why cell we are calling as the building block. What it is? Building block of an organism. It is important, students. What is meant by this cell? Cell is the building block of an organism. Otherwise, one more definition we can give. Cell is structural and functional unit of an organism. Chapter only says that cell, structure and function. Cell, structure and function. So, cell is nothing but what? Cell is the structural and functional unit of an organism. Otherwise, cell is the structural and functional unit of a life. Why we are calling a cell is a structural unit of an organism? See students, whenever brick is there, then only that building getting the shape. Whenever brick is the base, then only that building getting the shape means structure. Like that, when cell is there, then only our body has structure. Then only our body getting the structure. That's why cell is called as the structural unit. And now one more is a functional unit. Why cell is called as the functional unit? See, cells are present in our body means they have to do some special functions, and they are doing. Cells are doing some specialized functions, some particular functions. That's why we are saying as cell is a structural and functional unit of an organism. Cell is the structural and functional unit of an organism. So students, cell is very important. Then what that cell contains? It contains the nucleus. That contains the nucleus. Otherwise, cell has the nucleus, a jelly-like substance, that is cytoplasm. Nucleus in the spherical shape. And cell is covered with a membrane. Cell is covered with the outer membrane that we are calling as the cell membrane, otherwise plasma membrane. Plasma membrane is nothing but the cell membrane. So students, now basic thing, introduction we learned. Then who discovered this cell? This is important. Who discovered this cell? That is a scientist. Robert Hooke. That is scientist Robert Hooke. In the year of 1665, he discovered the cell. It is important. Who discovered the cell and in the which year? That is Robert Hooke. In the year of 1665, he discovered the cell. And how he discovered? By observing what he discovered the cell. That is important. If they may ask the question, who discovered the cell? Then you answer it. That is the Robert Hooke discovered the cell. Then in the year of which? What year? That is the 1665. In the year of 1665, Robert Hooke discovered the cell. And how he discussed? Otherwise, how he discovered? By observing what he discovered. See here students, Robert Hooke, he observed a slice of the cork. What he observed? A slice of the cork under the bark of a tree. He observed the size of cork, and they are looking like boxes. These boxes he observed under the microscope. He observed under the magnifying magnifying microscope whenever he observed. At what time he observed that slice of the cork. That slice of the cork which will be obtained from the bark of a tree whenever he is seen, otherwise when he is seen under the magnifying microscope, he observed the box-like structure. Then he named that box as a cell. Then he named that box as a cell. Like this, Robert Hooke, he discovered the cell. One more time, Robert Hooke, how he discovered the cell? By observing what he discovered the cell. See, we know that bark. We know that bark of a tree. So, he observed the cork, slice of the cork. He observed the slice of the cork. What he observed? He observed the slice of the cork which is obtained from the bark of a tree. Then that bark of a tree which will be giving the slice of a cork, this slice of a cork he took under the microscope. Which is that microscope? That is the magnifying microscope. So when he observed that microscope, he observed it. He seen some box-like structures. So that box he named as the cell. So students, this is about the cell. What is meant by the cell? Cell is the structural and functional unit of an organism. Otherwise, one more definition, cell is the fundamental unit. Of an organism. And Robert Hooke in the year of 1665, he discovered the cell by observing the slice of a cork which will be obtained from the bark of a tree under the magnifying microscope. There he observed the small boxes like structures. Then that box he named as the cell. Then students, are the shape, size, whatever shape and size are present, are the cells are having the shape, same size or shape. This is important. See students, okay, cells are present in our body. Our body is made up of cell only. Our body is made up of the group of cells. Then are these cells which are present in our body, they are similar in structure and they are doing the function as a similar one that we have to discuss. See students, okay, cells are similar in structure. But they are not similar in case of the shape. See how we can say as the cells are not similar in case of the shape. Now, example I gave you already. Brick is the base, and by base only we are building a building. We build a building. See, buildings are having base brick only, but they are having the different shape and size. Buildings are having the different shape and size. Like that, cells are similar in structure, but they are not similar in shape and size. Cells are not similar in shape and size. That is important. And cells will be varying from one organism to another organism. For example, human beings, our body is made up of the trillions of cells. Human beings' body is made up of what? Human beings' body is made up of the trillions of cells. It is important. Human beings' body is made up of the trillions of cells. That is also very important. Then we are seeing the different kinds of the organisms as multicellular organisms, unicellular organisms. So students, this is the today's class introduction. First, you have to be perfect students. Whatever you doubt have, otherwise whatever you are having doubt, you can contact me at any time. Take my number from the office. Then contact me. You have to read the chapter thoroughly students. Whenever you are perfect with the introduction, then only you are getting the whatever content in that chapter. So students, I think you got whatever I taught